Hello, Mark here. Um, I correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Um, I'm not a very egotistical person. In fact, far from it. So I just noticed everything's gone white out because the sun's coming out outside behind me. In a second. This is how on the fly this is, quite frankly. Yeah, I'm not a particularly egotistical person. I have my own, my own ego strokes when somebody comments on my videos or thumbs up my videos or that, or if somebody likes something on my Facebook page that I put up, but I'm not deep down a very egotistical person. But I have got a nasty suspicion that I have opened up a whole hornet's nest of trouble with a comment or question that I put up on Excalibur Brits the Sunday just gone. Oh, excuse me. See, wind and burping as well, so this is how much on the fly this is. Where I asked the question, are fake geeks a problem? Or do fake gigs exist? I also cited a little meeting that I had with somebody outside in the real world who, when they asked me about my, it's gone white out again. When they asked me about, oh, see, I'm going to do this. When they asked me about my tattoo that I've got, and when I tried to explain to them what it was, their rebuttal was, no, it didn't happen. And when I tried to explain to them what was, that yes, these things did actually exist, they were just completely nonplussed. They were just building up this big wall saying, no, it didn't happen. I've been reading comics for 2 years and I've never heard of any of this stuff. Yeah, obviously on Excalibur Brits, I gave a very abbreviated and abridged version of what happened. The whole thing must have gone on for about 3 minutes with me trying to explain to this person that yes, these stories did happen. I think if I remember correctly, the whole thing culminated with the fact that they'd never heard of Alan Moore and they thought that Watchmen and V for Vendetta were just movies. And when I said they were actually comics. They basically said, well, they must have made the comics after they made the movies. And yeah, so I tried to help the person. I honestly did. I really did try to help the person because I'm a nice, helpful kind of guy. But they just weren't having it. At which point I walked away. Yeah, but there does seem to be a lot of videos going around and a lot of negative stuff happening. Whether it was because of the question I brought up, I don't think. Like I said, I'm not egotistical. I don't think it's because of what I've said. I believe that this is something that has been bubbling under the surface, not just with the community on YouTube, but the whole sci-fi, fantasy, comic book, geek, whatever you will, community on a whole around the world. Now, I'm just going to try and get my train of thought again. Now, I personally don't care if you call yourself a geek, a nerd, whether you have been reading comics for 2 years, 6 months, just started reading comics, been reading comics for 70 years, been buying comics from every single DC comic or Marvel comic that's ever been published. I don't care about that. I don't really care about it at all because, as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're enjoying yourself and as long as you are being where am I going with this? As long as you are doing what you enjoy and what makes you happy, as long as obviously you're not hurting anybody else while you're doing it, then that's fine. That's not a problem at all. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. But the main reason why I brought that question up was because, as we probably all know, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now. YouTube, and it's coming. I think it's got a couple more days to go. YouTube has brought out for the whole of this week what they called Geek Week, which was a whole week of everything geeky, nerdy, sci-fi, fantasy, comic booky, and it ran the whole gamut of everything: sci-fi, fantasy, cosplayers, comic books, movies, TV shows, computer games, books, duvet covers, wallpaper, curtain, everything. It had everything in it to do with what we all basically love about what we are doing these videos for and what we're in this community for. And I was thinking, brilliant! Oh, yeah, this is great. You had I think it was actually on the advertisement for the Geek Week that YouTube's having, which has, I don't know if it's been playing on any other channel, but I know that in the UK there was an advert for it being played on E4, which is a sort of a sister channel to what in the UK is called Channel 4, and they were playing these Geek Week adverts. Strangely enough, they were playing the Geek Week adverts, if I remember correctly, through episodes of Big Bang Theory. So yeah, you can see the sort of thing. But in the comment section, there was a lot of negative comments about fake geeks, hipsters, posers. Call them whatever you want. Call them, or don't call them anything. Yeah, and that was what the question came about. Now, as I said before, as far as I'm concerned, you can like whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I have this attitude of, you know, if you like exactly the same things I like, brilliant. If you don't like exactly the same things I like, then meh, so what? If everybody liked exactly the same thing, the whole world would be completely boring. Absolutely boring. Just think, we would just be reading 6 or 7 Spider-Man comics every month. And that, actually, no, that's happening. All we'd be doing is be reading 8 Batman. No, that's happening as well. You get the idea. You get the idea. Okay. So I just wanted to do this video as a little, you know, hopefully a let's everybody calm down. Let's just all think about what's going on with what's happening in the world and that with the community and everything. Let's just chill. Let's not start having fights amongst ourselves about yes, fake geeks are terrible, or no, there's no such thing, or who, you know. Let's just all chill, relax, think about it, pick up a comic book, read a comic book, and just, you know, just chill, man. That's all. Just chill. Because at the end of the day, if there is somebody out there who sees the Iron Man 3 movie or any movie and they like that movie but they've never read a comic book, so what? If they don't read, yeah, if they do pick up a comic book because they've watched a movie, fantastic. If you go into a comic shop and you hear somebody saying, oh, I can't believe they've made a comic book out of Walking Dead. If you have the thought for doing so, just enlighten them. Just say to them, well, actually, Walking Dead was a comic book before the TV series come out. You know, if you have somebody come up to you and say, what's that? Because you're wearing a certain t-shirt, or you've got a tattoo, or you're wearing a baseball cap, or you're reading a comic, and you explain to them what it is, and they're interested, brilliant, absolutely fantastic. There's more, you know, more people the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. If you have somebody who comes up to you, asks you a question, you tell them, and they have no interest whatsoever about the facts that you're giving them, and they're telling you that you're wrong, even though you know that they're right, and even though Google and Wikipedia will tell them that you're right, then obviously that person is the kind of person who doesn't want to learn anything. They live in their own little bubble. What they believe is real, and what actually happens all around them is fake. That's the way I see it. It's people like that that just need to be. You can't educate with them. You can't educate them. You can't reason with them. The best thing to do is just go, okay, and just carry on with your life. So that's all this video is really for. It's just to say to everybody, calm down. It was just a question. Nothing was meant by it. Nothing, no harm was meant by it whatsoever. And should we just get on and enjoy what we're all here for, which is basically the comics, the sci-fi, the fantasy, the fun, and the love of what we all want to do. Okay, does that sound fair? Okay, right, let's all take a deep breath, deep cleansing breath, let all the negative energy out, just let it all out, calm, chill, and relax. Okay, thank you.